Greetings and salutations. Ben here, you there. Doc right here. That's right. We've got Doc of Riverdocks returning. We're going to discuss all the, I don't know, everything. It's going to be a mini conversation, like a mini doc that he does so well. Welcome back, my friend Doc. How you doing?
Good to be here. I'm having a great time and trying to stay warm. That's about it. It's been cold down in Florida.
Everyone else, I think, except for possibly Arizona, maybe.
Yeah. I think in the upper, in the mountains, they was getting some snow and cold air, but down in Phoenix, it was still pretty warm last I seen.
Nice. See, we already got a bunch of people in here. I'm sure there's some familiar names. I'm going to go back to the beginning of the night because we had in here 2.5 hours ago. We got Earl. Earl's in here, and then we got Paul McCary and the Cats. Terry's 3Gs. What's up, Terry? Wayne McConnell. United Effect. Great to see you. El Barge. Our music in law, Ryan Hall. Let's see here. Josh Tamberg. Nice. Who else we have here? Mr. BHB. I think that's Bruce. What's up, Bruce? We got the Lawnmower Tapes. Herb of Fireside Studio. Great to see you. We got Ryan 812 here doing a raid from his show. He just wrapped up doing his community jam, as it will. Man, they'll have 8-10 guys on there all jamming on a tune, going around. Oof. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it. We got Hit Metalworks, Charles 75 ends lurking while cooking. I like that, Charles. And enjoy the show. What else we got here? Get them all talking to each other. Nice. Dastardly Dave's in here. Awesome. Hip Metalworks, of course. Mentioned Hip. Ferd Burfel. What's up, Ferd?
Ferd Burfel.
Billy Baloney. There's Dastardly Dave again. Billy Baloney again. United Effect again. Ryan again. Stephen Douglas is here. Awesome. Dave Chase. Presley's California Customs. Out of California. It's there. Keith H. is here. Michael Krause. Quentin James himself. Nice. Grace us with his presence. Dennis Ellis. Blackjack Guitar. And Eddie Fay. That's who else I was thinking of. Perfect. There we go. Anybody else that's BC Rich 581 who put out a video today. Just saying. Taylor 315 in the house. Did not put out a video today. There we are. Perfect. So for those who don't know, good friend Riverdocks does mini docs on players and singers. And have you done a drummer yet? I know you've done bass player.
I've done, let's see. I know I did Don Brewer from Grand Funk.
There we go. Michael B. Live, Rob Blackmore.
I'm trying to think. I'm old, but yeah. I know Don Brewer is on there. I think there's another one, but I'm not sure. I know I did.
I don't remember what guitars I demo. I go into the store to demo a guitar, and I have to search my own channel. Have I demoed this model before? Oh.
Yeah, that happens.
But I haven't done it in this finish. Aha! More content.
Yeah. Right on.
Yes, I quite enjoyed recently the one you did on the Honkettes.
The Honkettes, yes, I did.
So I got to meet the modern Honkettes when I saw Skynyrd play.
Yeah. No, I never seen the modern Skynyrd, just the old one. And it was after they had the Honkettes with them, and they fit that band really well. VanZant knew what he was doing putting them up on stage. But all three of them like to party as much as them guys did. So you got 3 girls partying. Come back, Ben. Don't leave me.
Right.
You got 3 girls partying, and you got 7 guys or 6-7 guys to party, and you put that together, and you got more problems.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. What's up, Sadie?
And it run into problems, but Skynyrd's undeniable. They're legends.
Well, I didn't realize you've opened my eyes to it. Like I didn't realize how much VanZant was as much let's say, a musical director as the singer.
Yeah, he was.
You know?
He definitely. Well, he could play a little guitar and some piano. I mean, he wasn't great, but he could do enough if he needed to. But from all accounts and purposes, Ronnie VanZant would just have him start playing through, and he would come up with words. He wouldn't even write them down. He just kept them in his head.
Sure.
And he was something else, and he was, like I said, he was a totally different person at home than he was when he was on the road.
Right.
I mean, fights. My God, there's pictures of him out there. I didn't have it on my, in my docs, but, Ronnie hit one of the guys over the head with a, I think it was a wine bottle or a whiskey bottle, busted it, and then got Rossington in both hands, 10 stitches in one hand, 11 in the other, and then cut his own wrist doing it. They were just all fighting, and it happened over in Germany.
Yep.
It was called the Bloodbath in Germany. There's pictures right after it when they got their hands all, but and that was right after Ed King had quit and left because he said he just couldn't handle it no more.
Right.
So, and then after they got Stephen Gaines in and the Honkettes, Ronnie brought in a good friend of his that didn't drink and didn't get high or nothing to try to take care of him, which was basically impossible. And his name was, his name slips my mind right now, but he's got a couple of books out. And he actually lives just about 20 miles north of me. He's still alive today.
Wow.
I can't think of his name. It'll come to me sometime.
Yeah. Good to see you there, Zach Thong and Mark Taft in the house. Yes, Eddie, they would have saying like, yeah, you on That Smell, but not on the recording, but just live. They brought in different singers for the recording, as I recall.
Hey, Shady Lamp Duo, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. What'd they do?
Lawnmower Tape says blew the Stones off the stage in '76.
Yeah.
That would have been a wicked concert, though. My God.
Well, like we was talking about, some bands are so powerful when they're alive. They're totally different, and Skynyrd was like that live. The same as, like I said, Rory Gallagher. He's so powerful live. Frank Marino. Them guys are totally different players than they are in the studio when they get on stage. And Skynyrd was like that. Them guys just grinded, man.
Yeah.
They had no fear whatsoever.
Same deal. Allman Brothers, way better live.
Oh, yeah. They probably put out the best live album ever, that one from the Fillmore.
Exactly. How you want to record them? Just hit record and just turn it off when we're done. That's it. That's the best way to do the Allman Brothers. Just record a set. That's it.
The Fillmore was a good venue for recording. They set it up for sound, and it had good sound in there. But them guys, like I said, they just played through them songs, and just went into jam mode. And it's a beautiful thing that came out, that one. And like Skynyrd's live, One More from the Road. It's another great live album. Very good.
What's up, Eddie Van Haskell? Good to see you.
Eddie Van Haskell.
See, and Bo was like, this guy knows what's good. Frank Marino and Rory, they were great live. That's right, Bo.
They were very good live players, both of them. I was just discussing with Ben here, and it was in the summer of 1977. I saw Frank Marino in a small vaudeville type theater in St. Louis, seated about 1,500 people. And this theater's acoustics was built for vaudeville, with an orchestra down front and the people singing. They didn't have microphones, so the acoustics was set up to really carry. And Frank Marino went in there, and probably, I would guess there was a lot of ear damage that night. Oh God, was he loud? But he was so good. He's the closest thing to Hendrix I ever heard. He had a lot of Hendrix feel to him.
We got guys talking medication in the chat. Different kind of drug talk in the chat. I'm just saying. And beta blockers. Sure. Which would probably work well in the studio, come to think of it. That would be a good thing to have.
Beta blockers are bad news for me. I had them in eye drops,
Oh yes.
and them things started making me loony. I didn't know what was wrong. I was going to the doctor, and they was checking me. I was having problems retaining. You know, I'm old anyhow, but it was getting bad. I'd sit there and I actually forgot the eye drops at home over Thanksgiving a year or so ago. And I was only going to be gone for a couple of days. So I said, I ain't going to worry about it. And one day off of them, just one day. And I went, holy cow. Everything cleared up. They
Right.
kind of put me in a daze because they use them for when you're got a high eye pressure, like glaucoma and stuff. They use a beta blocker, and I was on them. And I got home and I called up the ophthalmologist and told him, I said, I need to come see you right now. And I went there and told him, and he took me off of them. So
makes sense. Rob was asking, have you ever heard Metallica's cover of Tuesday's Gone?
No, I haven't. I'm not much of a big metal fan, but I'll tell you, since you just said that, I will watch it and listen to it. I will. I do. I mean, my metal goes about as far as AC/DC.
Sure.
And I like a little, Judas Priest and Metallica. I don't know if you want to call Kiss metal. I kind of like some of their older stuff.
Right.
But I got to hear that. I have never heard that, and I can't picture them doing it. So
I'm curious how they did the harmonies. That's what I want to hear. How they did the harmonies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guitar Man 45 says, seeing Frank once with Humble Pie and Angel back in '79. Yeah. This awesome concert was a stop on our way down to Daytona. Nice.
Yeah. That's a double whammy then, because
Humble Pie.
Humble Pie was every bit as good live as Frank Marino was. They really blew me away too.
Yeah. Yeah, where someone like a player and even vocalist, the caliber of Peter Frampton, can be lost in the band just because Steve Martin has such a presence.
Oh my God, he was. He was a star. Now I seen him right after Peter Frampton had left. I forget the year, but Peter Frampton wasn't with him. They had the other guitar player in there.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a Steve Marriott show. It really and truly was. The guy was he was. What can you say? He was a light on stage. You followed him, just like Frank Marino.
And I just realized it's kind of ironic. Like, Steve leaves the Small Faces to create Humble Pie because he didn't want to do so much bubblegum. He wanted to do more blues rock. Right. But then you bring in Rod Stewart and Ronnie Wood, who basically take the band to a blues rock way anyways.
Yeah.
But two great bands out of it. Because the Faces for me is one of the best.
Yeah, it was. The thing, the big problem is, I got a video I've done on Steve Marriott. I haven't done Peter Frampton yet. He's in my folder. Both of them guys, when they was with the Small Faces, the thing they hated about it most, they didn't want to be the face of the band, either one of them. Okay,
right.
They didn't. Peter Frampton just wanted to be a guitar player. That's all he wanted. He did not want to be a front man. Steve Marriott didn't want the limelight, but they was both so charismatic and both, well, Frampton wasn't near the singer, to me, in my opinion, that Marriott was.
No, and I'll agree with that.
Frampton, in his own right, was probably a better guitar player all around. But, both of them guys had it.
Yeah.
They had what you need.
Skynyrd guys are actually doing the vocals and backing vocals on the Metallica cover. Well, there we are. Well, that'd be interesting.
All right, yeah.
Young Mr. Radford. What's up, Alex? Getting ready to head to NAMM this week. The big NAMM show.
Oh, yeah. You going up there, you say?
Alex is. I'm not. He is.
You're not?
Yeah. Well, he's closer. He's already in California, so he's already almost all the way there. That helps.
Well, yeah. You got a long flight to get there.
Yeah, I think he's just up in the Bay Area, so it's not too bad.
Yeah. So Humble Pie Badfinger Faces with Rod Stewart in 72.
Oh,
that sounds good, Earl.
Right?
That was a good one.
I thought right there, that's a damn strong lineup.
Yeah. I love to think back. You know, you're not supposed to live in the past, and I understand that.
Yeah, but the music was so much better.
Exactly. And here's the thing: I don't have to go back and visit your life's music. That's why they're recorded. That's why it's there. I can't see them anymore, but I damn sure ain't going to forget what I saw and heard back in the 70s with concerts and things. You know. And then that's what
I'm glad that so much of the stuff is coming out on like YouTube and stuff, like Midnight Special putting out their full episodes where, you know, a TV show where they actually played, but it's pro shot. So it is almost concert footage in that respect. And
exactly. Yeah. Well, I was just, like I told you, I've been kind of looking around at Frank Marino, and there's a video on him of Don Kirshner's rock concert. Right. And there's 4 or 5, 6 songs that he done on there, and a couple of them are the long jam type things. You know, they're pretty good. Yeah, Sadie Lamp, Marriott rocks, that's for sure.
Yeah,
he was just a little bitty guy too.
Yeah,
you know, I never heard that guy. That guy emailed me. He was the engineer on one of Humble Pie's albums. I can't remember now. Remember I told you about him, Ben?
Yes.
I talked to him. I was going to try to get him to come on your show here because he did.
I remember, and I'll be honest, I dropped the ball as well because I got very busy outside of YouTube last year.
Trust me, I understand. I've dropped the ball quite a few times. You know, I get people emailing me, and I try to, but between making videos and
Charles is back.
I'm supposed to be retired. Jesus God. You know? And I've always got something going on. I'm always doing something.
Yeah, Eddie says, imagine we could have heard concert albums from like Mozart, Bach. I'd be interested because they were able to tune all their instruments without modern conveniences, right?
Oh, yeah. Them guys didn't even have tuners back in the 70s, you know?
Yeah, you were lucky you had a pitchfork or pitch pipe.
Yeah. That's what they do.
Or go to a venue that had a piano and you just, there's an E. Okay, tune to it.
Tune it up and pull it up there.
Yeah. Even by the 80s, like my dad had a quartz tuner, you know, with nice needle, but those things were so inconsistent from tuner to tuner that as a band, they all would share one guy's tuner to tune to. So that way they were all tuned to each other at least consistently in case it was out of calibration.
Right. I'm having an issue here. If you lose my voice for a minute, I know what I'm doing. It might take me time to get it back. You still hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Did it sound any different to you?
It's right now? Brighter. It's a little brighter.
Is. There's a microphone on this webcam. And for some reason, I just looked and it was turned on too. You know, it's picking my voice up, not much, but over this microphone a little. Yeah.
They probably used to pitchfork. It's possible, Lee. It is possible. And thank you, Terry, for putting a link to Doc's channel in the chat there. Keith with Super Chat says, did you ever see when Peter Frampton took over the drums during a concert? I was not aware. Look for that.
Well,
I would like
to surprise me.
Right? I get one of the nicest guys, like watching interviews with him, like, because he's been there, done that on so many levels, and you know, and unfortunately had some low spots in his life as well. But zero ego. He's such a gear nerd too. Oh, yeah, nice guy, gear nerd. Yeah. I'd like to. He's someone I'd love to have on here. But again, you know, how do you reach out to Peter Frampton? Hey, you want to come on and talk about gear? Well, yes.
I don't know. There's people that get some. You know, Mark Farner from Grand Funk is doing a lot of live YouTubes like this, and some of the guys are, you know, they're just small channels. I mean, he still likes to talk music just like we all do. You know, and when you can do it from the comfort of your own home, it ain't like you have to get in the car and drive to a studio or something or anything like that. I would think you could find their web pages and just email them.
I'm gonna do some more of that, which I've done in the past, just throw a Hail Mary and see what happens. But
Right.
it's like when I was interviewing Tim Pearson, he's like, "Oh, Dweezil Zappa would have a blast with us." Well, we'll pass along my info, please.
Please.
What's up, Sean? What did I see there? Billy mentions, Frampton went to school with David Bowie. Yes.
Yeah.
Rob just subbed to Riverdocks. Nice.
Who was it? Right. Yeah. I think I think it was David Bowie after Frampton tanked. He did that Frampton Comes Alive, and then his album started going down, and then he got in that damn Beatles thing, that Sgt. Pepper's with the Bee Gees, that movie, and he totally tanked. And he had that car wreck, and his wife left him. He pretty much got trapped. I think, don't hold me to it, but I think it was Bowie.
Yeah.
He went to work and played guitar. We said, I just want to be a guitar player. I just want to be a sideman.
He said, I want you to come out on the road with me. And Peter's response was, why?
Yeah.
Because you're a talented musician?
Yeah.
But actually, you know what? If you look at it, that Beatles movie, that tanked a lot of careers because really, Aerosmith didn't do much after that until they reformed when they got sober. Alice Cooper really didn't do much after that until he came back in the 80s. And then you got the Bee Gees that really didn't do much after that period.
No, they didn't.
So
that hit. A career is a funny thing with musicians like that. Once very few people can keep going for a long period of time unless they get away from it, like the Eagles did. They totally got away from it and came back better than ever, but they got away. REO Speedwagon started out doing great rock and roll and come in, and they had that one album, 10 million, sold 10 million, and they started back down, and then they hit bottom. A lot of people say, well, it's because they fired Gary Richrath, or Gary Richrath quit, or this, that, and that. It wasn't none of that. They was done. They had been going from 72 to 82 in about 10 years. Yeah. If they would have took a break and got away from it for a while and kept the same members,
yes,
like
they come back around 85, 86, like a good 2 to 3 year break, like what Mac would do, because they would be all at each other's throats, but they knew enough. Let's not blow it up. Let's just take 18 months, 2 years, whatever, walk away.
Yeah. Well, the Eagles took 14 years, but you look what happened when they came back. I think they were.
And that was it. And they were able to come back. They were the first to come back as like the nostalgia show,
right?
Without it being necessarily a nostalgia show, because they had the new single. They did bring out a new album, so they were kind of touring on that. But but they also did and they were the first of the big ticket price for the 2-hour show. Like,
yeah. And that's what. What's
up, Jimmy?
That's what caused Kiss to fire Bruce Kulick and Eric Carr.
Yep.
No, Eric Singer. Eric Carr had already died. Eric Singer, and go back and get Peter and Ace and try to sober them up, because they knew. And sure enough, their first gig was Tiger Stadium. They sold it out.
Yep. And they were doing the double capitalizing on the whole Unplugged thing as well, because originally they did the Kiss Unplugged to start with. Which I was like,
that's what got the ball rolling.
Should not be unplugged. Kiss songs should not be unplugged.
Yes. Yep. That's what a lot of people do. They try to keep going and I know, ZZ Top never took no time off. REO didn't take time off. Rich Rat left, and they got that other good guitar player, and they just kept on playing. But they try to put an album out every once in a while, and it wouldn't do nothing. They couldn't get the label. Epic dropped them, and ZZ just started recording on some label out in Texas, or just they'll put it out.
The most they did that brief break, like from 80 to 83 type thing, where they did grow out the beards a bit more, and then went with the synths and stuff. it was almost again, they needed, because they'd been going a decade straight.
Oh yeah,
And they needed that break. And
they had to change. They had to either, you have to adapt or you die.
Otherwise, and there was there was some room for retro in the 80s, but what we saw more was rebranding in the 80s, like Steve Winwood with a solo career. Like we had all these 60s and 70s stars recycled in the 80s to the next generation as new solo artists.
Right.
With the music videos and this and that. Yeah.
That's the way, music is. It evolves. When you see somebody that's still selling albums, like even the Stones, I don't care. Them guys were still selling albums and they didn't take a break, but they evolved as the music did. They stayed, and I hate to say it, but you have to stay radio friendly or you're not going to make money on albums.
Yep.
On the countryside, Tim McGraw, he has, he went at one time and he fired everybody but one person in his band and changed his band over just so it would sound like a 2000 country. And he was still, selling out 20 and 30,000 seat places. Mm-hmm. So, and selling albums. So you have to do it.
And the Stones did it right too. They did a tour in the early 80s when the 70s rock was still carrying over, and then that 82, 83, they called it, and then they basically took the 80s off. Mick could do his acting thing, Keith could do some solo stuff, Charlie took heroin because for whatever reason, whatever, sure. Yeah. But then they come back with Steel Wheels, and boom, again, like the Eagles. But it was a corporate machine version of the band. What's up, Ty Price? Good to see you, legend. So, I dig it. I
do too. I like old music. I still live in the 70s, but I do listen to some new music. But my favorite is what was back there, and I'm the same way with movies myself. I don't watch a lot of television anymore. Movies to me, I'll go back. I got hard drives full of movies, and I'll go back and watch something that I really like or something.
Back when there's such things as cinematography, I agree.
Yeah. It's just getting old. I'm just like my dad and my mom was when they got this age, and my grandparents when they got their age. My mom and dad liked their kind of music until the day they died, and I'll like mine until the day I die. It'll be my favorite. That's what's great about recordings and everything like that, because we can still listen to it, and we can still think about it and talk about it.
That's true. Eddie Faye says, would you say the Stones adapted during disco? Yeah, they did. They did a couple disco type songs.
Yeah, they did.
But they did it with their spin, which is cool.
What they had to do just enough to get by. They didn't switch to it. They couldn't do that, but they did enough songs to keep them going. I mean, longevity in music there's not too many that really do it. I mean, sure, there's a lot of bands out there, Marshall Tucker's out there playing. The only one from the original band is the singer Doug Gray, and they're not making a lot of money, although ticket prices, we all know, to go to a concert is very expensive. That comes from a lot of it. There's not a lot of money made like there used to be on album sales anymore. With Spotify and everything, the writers, the publishing rights, there's not as much made on them. So they have to jump it up for the concerts. So, guys like REO Speedwagon, I think the last I looked, they made the band. Now, this is a whole gross amount. It's had to cover everything, but it was over $15 million in casinos and different places like that. That still, they're still making a nice paycheck playing music, and you can't ask for more than that. If they need the money, a lot of them don't.
Yeah, some people do love it. Some of them they have 3 ex-wives, so they don't have a choice. Yeah,
Right. They got bills just like us, and
yeah,
their bills are just as important to them as ours is. You know, ours might be a little cheaper than theirs, but they lived a different lifestyle.
exactly. By the way, stop Owner Jams. Good to see you. He was at EVH Con today. I saw. Excuse me. Bo mentioned Sweet was good live when they toured with Cheap Trick and Foghat back in the day. Yeah, that'd be a good triple bill for sure.
Right.
Herb mentioned Kiss killed themselves trying a Kisco album. Well, they're 2 years too late. That was the problem with Kiss doing it.
Yeah.
Like, it was already 2 years old. You know.
Yeah. Kiss's big issue, you know, that they lost.
Risers, good to see you. Been a minute.
Go for it.
Traits here too. Wow, we got a whole bunch of people in here. Nice.
How many people we got in here?
69.
Well, how many likes do we have on there?
That's a good question. How many likes?
I can't tell.
Let's see, Ty Price in here. I was asked about you the other day, Ty. How you were doing? So doing well. Good to see you.
Everybody will hit the like
in a minute. Great to see you in here. And then we'll see. Yeah, Boner Jams is here. And then Charles at 75 Ends just trolling us because he's like, when's the Ben Coombs mini doc coming out? Nobody needs to see that.
What is it? I missed it.
Charles 75 Ends said you need to do one on me. I'm like, no, you don't.
I ought to do a doc on Charles.
You better, let's do one on Charles. Exactly.
Yeah,
we'll do it more behind the music. We'll have all these people that know him, like talking behind his back, and you can go these quick edits and mood lighting, ominous music. I love it.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't even want to talk about trolls. February and March is coming up on YouTube, and that is one of the biggest times of the year. You get the most views in February and March, and you also get the most trolls.
That is true.
That is true.
It's like 37, 38 likes in around there. Okay. Nice.
Yeah, click them like. Come on, everybody. If you haven't hit the like button, just go in there.
Helps with the algorithms, folks. You know,
it does.
I don't know.
It's hard to get these live chats going anymore. YouTube wants to push them shorts, and I hate them things.
Nope. First of all, I don't watch anything in the vertical position. I watch on the computer, or I have the computer hooked up to a big screen TV. We do, but
yeah, I put a few out every once in a while, just so YouTube will like me.
Yeah, I did some last year, but it was just like it was going to be like, oh, this guy's coming on this Sunday, or a quick little shout out for a Long and McQuaid event that I was at.
Yeah. There's a guy I know pretty well, and I really respect his knowledge of YouTube. He said, as far as shorts go, you're not going to make any money off of them. He said the way to use shorts is to promote your channel with it. Mm-hmm. he said that will help, because now you can put a link in the short to your channel or to the video that you're referring to. The link is right there as you're watching the short. You can click it. It'll ask you for it now. Mm-hmm. And so that does help direct people to your channel. But, you know me, I don't care. People are either going to watch my videos, and if they're either going to like them and subscribe, or they're not going to.
Exactly.
And I'm just.
I know my demographic, and my demographic doesn't watch shorts. You know.
Right. Yeah. No.
Or maybe I will say there's a few, because we have might be 3 people say I watch them. Right, exactly. And the other 60 don't. So
yeah, I think I had one video that got me a few subscribers. I think I did one on Mark Farner, and it got me a pretty good chunk of subscribers subscribed to the channel through it. You can tell, if they subscribe from the short or from the channel or from the video, and they subscribed from the short. But it wasn't a lot. I mean, compared, I think it was 150 or 200 over a year period. Really wasn't worth that. If my channel's going good, I can get 100 a day sometimes. So it just depends.
Terry
3G's trolling you too, Ben.
Well, yeah, wouldn't wear them either. Well, no, a lot of them wear them year round. Say that.
Well, I almost put socks on tonight. It's that cold down there.
Easy. Yeah, it's not a formal occasion, you know. Yeah. I thought about putting jeans on, but I'm like, nope, I'm in the pajama pants because I didn't go out
That's
today.
what I got. I got pajama pants on. I mean, I'm really color coordinated with my tie-dye, and then I got my checkered pajama pants.
Tie-dye and plaid. Perfect.
Tie-dye and plaid.
Well, it's winter, so I went with the snowflakes.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always wear tie-dyes, though. I wear them 75% of the time. Nice. I like colors. It reminds me of the 70s acid trips.
Nothing wrong with that. That was a conversation the other night. Oh, yeah. We went there. Billy says, got space heater running toasty. Okay. Yeah. So Eddie says, what's the Riverdocks story? Ooh.
I don't do it, Doc, on myself. I don't let too much. I don't even let people see my face too often.
That's right.
I don't. I'll do a live video maybe once a month sometimes. I tried to do one here. This new computer's a pain in the ass, man. It's cool looking. It's got all kinds of lights in it, and it's water cooled and faster. Man, it's fast, but Windows 11 really blows.
Yeah, I know. My computer went and upgraded it without me even giving it the go ahead, and I'm like, oh, great. Now I've upgraded an operating system on a computer not designed for it, so I know it's going to run slower. Thanks. Needed that in my life.
Right. No, there's really no story to Riverdocks. That was just I don't know. I don't even know how I come up with the name. it just come up, and everybody calls me Doc, and I don't know if it's Doc or documentary or whatever, but I was born and raised in St. Louis, and I moved up. I lived on the Mississippi River for a long, long time, and I was, I guess, what you call a river rat. Okay. And I love the rivers. So that's how I come up with the word river. I don't know. Like I said, I've had channels on YouTube going for a while. This is one I just changed around.
Mm-hmm. So Hobo Roadie, Steve Rezer. So I had a question. Favorite ZZ Top song? Ooh, that's a good one.
Oh, it'd be an old one for me.
Ooh. That's a good question.
Jesus Just Left Chicago is pretty good. I liked Heard It on the X, Mexican Blackbird, LaGrange. Have to go with LaGrange. And anything new, probably I like that Automobile song.
That's a good question.
I Thank You, Fool, for Your Stockings. That'd be some kind of new ones. But I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure. I have to think about that, but I'm just saying something upbeat because I always think back like the best live footage is the German footage of them in the late 70s, and they're just on like firing on all the cylinders, and then
yeah, I know. I think I know what you're talking about too.
And I swear every song's played at twice the speed, and and the movement for a guy who now great, obviously Billy's not a young guy now, but Mr. Minimalistic in movement now. Like, you're not even sure he's playing something because he just doesn't move at all, but because he did all the moving back then.
Yeah.
But back when he's playing his pearly gates all the time.
Yeah, Mark, there is great fishing on the river. We had clubhouses down that you rented it from the Corps of Engineers. You rented to lease the ground for $500 a year. And then you could buy the clubhouses down there for, depending on the shape they was in, $5,000 to $15,000. And we would, buy a couple of them clubhouses and just keep up with the money on them for a while. And we had fishing and boating anytime we wanted to. And 4th of July, we'd have firework displays and have places to go and fish. We run trot lines a lot in the early spring and just, fill up freezers full of catfish. It's
Ooh,
like I said,
it looks
Ford
like
is
we've got a
different to me.
convert over from your channel. I'm gonna see. JF says Riverdocks, love your channel. Always wondered who was behind the voice and all that knowledge. Glad to know.
Yeah, that's my ugly face.
And since Bo's asked twice, Guitar Man 45's asked twice, he goes like, so the hummingbird behind you, is it an Epiphone or a Gibson?
It's an Epiphone, and I just bought it. That's my Christmas present to myself.
They are a great. Is it the inspired by Gibson version?
I have no clue. I caught it on sale.
Okay.
And
They are great. I demoed one
Yeah.
just in the last couple months. And
Here, I'll pull it out. Let me get it.
bang for the buck.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at the camera. I got to go the other way. Yeah, this is brand new. There's Peghead.
There you go. Yep, that's the Kalamazoo stock.
Yeah. It was I got it with the hard shell case for just a little over $900 with tax.
Whew.
Yeah, it was on sale. There was one special. There's 4 of them left, and there was 4 of them, and this was the only one that was kind of a lighter color. I don't like the darker yellow. I like the lighter yellow. And this one, it's all right. Let me see.
And I was going to say, Mark Taft, you have a very similar one with a cutout, though, because he has my old one. I used to gig on one of those.
Yeah. Are you monetized on this, Ben?
I am, but you can do whatever you want. We got super chats.
Because if I play one thing on my channel, I get a.
Well, it depends on who the artist is. That's really, see, in effect.
This thing sounds good, and it's got electronics that I haven't even hooked them up. I just been playing the acoustic here at the house. Nice sounding guitar. It plays really well.
Thanks, Charles. He said, "Go for it, Doc."
Yeah. Oh, $5? What do you want to hear?
Just like busking now, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Well, if you guys start throwing money in here for Ben, I'll do a song. I know a couple songs I can do here and not get a copyright strike on them. Believe it or not. See, I used to do acoustic songs on YouTube, and some of them, some songs would be claimed by publishers, and some they never got claimed. Some by the same artist. One artist song will get claimed, and the other one won't. Don't ask me why.
I usually get claimed for my Bowie songs I play.
Yeah. Well, Bowie, Skynyrd, don't even mention an Eagle song name on your channel. Don't do it.
Funny enough, though, I'll play Dirty Laundry.
Yeah, you might get by with that one. Yeah. Dealer's choice. I don't know. I do a little bit. I'll do it. I'll tell you what. I'll do this song, just a little bit of it, and I'll do it a different way. It's an old Dylan song, and the band did it, and remember a guy named Earl Scruggs played banjo?
Oh, yeah.
All right. He had a band called the Earl Scruggs Review, and he had a bunch of his sons with long hair and stuff like that. I mean, they were all hippies back then. And they redid this song. And this is the Dylan song. I'll do just a little bit of it. Oh, here we go. We got another $5. Tear it up.
We did?
What? Yeah. Well, who's that? Jimmy?
And Ty.
Thanks, Ty. All right. Well, you keep it. But once I do this, you guys will probably want your money back. Say everything can be replaced. And they say every distance is not near. But I remember every face of every man who put me here. I seen my light come shining from the west down to the east. Any day now, any day now, I shall be released. And that's it. If I do any more, we might get a copyright strike.
I love it. Oh,
I remember a lot of them. Lester Flatner.
Change back mic settings. There we are.
Look up Mark, look up the Earl Scruggs review. Look it up. There might be a few videos of them. They're Earl Scruggs' sons and their friends. And Earl would get up there, you know, look just like Earl Scruggs with his hair. And they would, Earl would play his banjo, and these guys would just jam all around him. But they played that old Dylan song. They had a, you know, really cool arrangement to it. They sped it up and did a shuffle type to it.
Nice.
Yeah. Anything else? Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs, yeah.
Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs gave Marty Stewart his big break. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Another super chat.
Thank you, Charles. We appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Enjoyed it. All right. We'll put it down for
you. Hey, Charles is. I'll send you a link for the after hang. You can thank him yourself.
Thank you, JF. There's another.
Yeah, appreciate that. It is a big sounding guitar. That's truly. They're great. They are great for that. And
yeah. I got another one here. See.
Well, that's for stereo, right?
Yeah. There's a story behind this one. This guitar here was a refurbished, supposedly, guitar, and I ordered it from eBay.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted a gut string guitar, just something so I could play some Willie on it and things like that. Well, I ordered it. I got it cheap. I really did. It's about 100, and I think they're about 169 new, and I got it for $83. It was a one of them things where you make an offer, and I did. Well, they sent me the guitar. And as soon as I got it out, I don't know if you can see it or not. Let's see. Let me see if I can get it there. If you look coming right off the nut, can you see that crack there?
Here, I'm gonna solo it.
Right on the bottom of the nut.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're right at the surf joint.
There's the other side. See the other one?
Yep.
Well, I took good pictures of that, and I sent it to them and sent it to eBay, and they just took the money off my account, and so they didn't want the guitar back because it had a broken neck. Well, so far all it does is come out of tune, and the neck hasn't broke. It feels like it might just be finish cracks. I don't know. But with on each side, I don't know how they did it, and it was packed. My grandkids could have packed it better. Let's put it that way. It was just in a box in a gig bag. There was no padding around it or nothing.
Wow.
You know. But since I didn't have to pay anything for it, I'll keep it here at the house until the neck busts off.
What's up, speaker? Great to see you, speaker, in the house. Missed Steve's show last night. I hope it was good. And yes, I agree, Marty, the whole copyright thing. I don't know. I don't worry about it too much because if you get enough super chats coming in, it offsets any ad revenue I would have got anyways for a live show.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to mess you up, Ben.
I do it on my own occasion enough. It's okay.
I do it to mine too. I don't monetize. I try not to monetize mine even because that way I don't have to even fool with it. But I don't get that many people in it. You know, hell, if I got a dozen people on a chat, that's a lot for me.
Right.
You know, because I'm so sporadic and I may go 6-7 weeks without doing one. I just get busy on videos and things like that. It's easier just to come here on yours and let you handle it.
Right? I get it, because I enjoy. I was a guest. By the way, shout out Lucas and Martin there, L&M Guitar Corner. I was on their show last Thursday afternoon. They originally had a guest booked, and then the guest had canceled, and so they were doing a 3-year anniversary show. And I put in their chat before the show, looking forward to this, and they said, "Don't get your hopes up." So then I messaged them like, "Do you have enough content? Do you want me to jump on?" They're like, "Yeah, jump on if you want." Sure. I don't have to do anything. I just sit there and talk, and it was great.
You don't have to do anything,
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, the last one I did, I got this new computer going, got the OBS all set up. Everything was right. I went in. I even tried a few live videos.
Mm-hmm.
Did them private, made sure they would work, deleted them. I said, okay, I'm ready. Set it all up, put the chat, was for Christmas time is when it was for.
Okay.
Christmas chat. And I put the little flyer out, said we're going to do a chat tonight at 8:00, blah, 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 the whole works. And there was people there sitting there waiting. I clicked on OBS, everything, it was all together. And I got ready to start streaming, and it said OBS couldn't find YouTube. It's got a stream key on it. And I put the stream, but it was all working, and all these people lined up there. Right. And I'm sitting there going, holy shit, this ain't going to work. So I finally had to just start all over and do a chat. And a few of the people came back in, and I told them, I said, until I figure this out, why this, I think this one is the OBS, the new version of it, the updated version, or it could be Windows 11, because this OBS, you can kick it on and dock YouTube on the side of it, to where I kept a browser open so I could see my chat. But now they got it to where it's got a dock here and everything, and it's a mess. I just don't even mess with it. I really just do videos and talk to people there.
I tried using OBS once several years ago, and I gave up on it. So
if you like, I don't get real complicated with it. I'll set up a few scenes sometimes if I'm doing something, but you can use OBS. You can actually record your videos with it, and it comes out pretty decent. Like if you want to do a guitar video and just play and sing, I got some actually on my channel. I just had them turned off for the last 3 years, since I changed over and started this, because that's what I used to do. I just get on there and play and sing, and people would come in. Like I said, that's why I know some songs will get copyright strikes and some won't.
Right.
Not strikes. They give you a claim is what they do. They won't take it down.
And yes, Eddie, that's exactly why I use StreamYard, because it's just browser based. It's very simple, straightforward.
And you know what? I'm probably just going to end up fronting the money and getting it. I mean, do you get it by the year or by the month? How do you?
I do it by a yearly rate. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think I'm going to do.
Although it'd be nice if we had a decent exchange rate, because I have to pay it in U.S. funds, and normally, like most years, because it's $20 a month U.S., so $240 U.S., so we come in about $275, maybe pushing 300 Canadian. But our dollar happened to be so weak at the time; it was like $340 Canadian. I was like, holy crap! So
yeah, Sadie Lamp, you was there when remember that happened. I had to start it like 3 different times. I think it was a mess. Yeah, Terry's right. Once you understand OBS, it's powerful. It is. It'll do anything.
Yeah. We were talking about that on and off air hang the other night about interfaces like Ryan, the OU812 channel there, where they do jamming, live streaming with each other and playing to backing tracks, and they all have these Rodecaster interfaces and this and that and this and that. And I just got lucky because I just run a single USB mic that essentially mics the room.
Yeah.
I turn up 2 amplifiers loud enough. Like I think I'm running just over 90 decibels in here when I'm playing live. And it just works. It doesn't overpower the mic. It doesn't underpower it. I'm not phasing. And I was like, you know what? I just leave it as is. Why mess with a good thing? No,
and you're exactly right. Like I said, I got an audio interface. Well, I I got two computers. I got one on this side and this one here, two PCs, and they both got audio interfaces on them. And that one that I do my documentaries to has a mixing board and everything. This one here, I just take this mic and plug it directly into the audio interface and turn it up. I don't worry about what it sounds like. And if I want to plug a guitar into it, you know, I mean, for doing this here, I'm not going to add any effects or do anything for what I do. You know, there's no need to. If I play through an amp, like I got that one. Where's my amp at? What side is it on? I don't know. Right there, yeah. I got a little Blues Junior and one of them little Voxes right there.
Nice.
And if I want to put it through there, I'll just put a mic in front of it and turn. Yeah. I got neighbors 20 foot away on the other side of me, so I can't get too loud over here.
Sure. But
I can take that amp and do that and just put a little. I think I use an SM57 and just run it into there, and then I can sit there and play guitar when I do. I just don't play that much anymore.
Easy there, Quentin, with his RP 360 XP.
Yeah, Wooly Bully Sadie Lamp will get a copyright. Sam the Sham still wants money. And you're not in any trouble over that. It's just that you can't monetize the video.
Yeah, or it's revenue sharing, which means, all right, so if you play a 3-minute song during the course of a 1-hour live stream, 5% of your ad revenue goes to them. And if you're not monetized, and this is the other, I get a kick out, a lot of non-monetized channels will say, oh, I got a copyright claim. So you're not monetized. What do you care?
Yeah, right. You just don't. And a lot of them will come on and say you can monetize it, and they'll split it with you. They'll split the money with you.
And that's what they're going to do. They look at the overall time. This is how much is affected. So, yeah, it works out to fractions of. So unless you consistently play copyright claimed songs the entire time, which is pretty much impossible because you're going to have breaks between songs, that you would still, like if you did have ads, you would still get some ad revenue, you know, however amount it's going to be, which is not going to be much, unless, I don't know who, unless you're like Pete Thorne that has tens of thousands of views during a live stream. That's the only way you're really making much money. And even then, you don't get much for ad revenue.
No, you don't. I remember the first time it happened to me, I had put a video up. I had done the song Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash. And I had done it. I had heard a group. It was an a cappella group called Home Free. And they did a really beautiful vocal version. Well, I got, a couple of different harmonizers here, a TC Helicon that I use. And I was just messing with it, trying with it. So I put the song on YouTube. This was like 2015. I just put it on there, and I did not monetize it or anything like that. And I got an email about a month later, and it was from like a JR Cash publishing company. Now, this is before YouTube, this is in the early years of this. And they said, we like the version that you put on there. And if you would like to monetize it, we will split the publishing rights with you on the video. Okay. Now, the video was on this was back 2014, I think it was. And it was on there for 8 years, and I think I made $1.25 off the song. You don't make, the only way you're going to make any kind of money, it's kind of like with the shorts, you're going to have 1 million views. Yeah. And you have to split it with the publishing companies. Plus, YouTube gets their 45% cut.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, like, I can tell when it's a friend has watched or they've let the ad run that's a super long ad, which there are some ads that are, like, literally, I've seen gear demos posted as ads from Electro Harmonics. I'm looking at you. But, some of these ads are a 10-minute video. Now, if you let that whole thing run, like Doc will see $1 or $2 just from that single video play because it's so long. But, remember, folks, most non-skippable videos, which are the ones we get paid for because everyone hits the skip button, it's a 6-second video. So it's 1,000th of a cent, basically.
Yeah. You'll make a lot. You have to get views, and it takes a lot of them to make any kind of money. On YouTube, it's hard playing music of any kind. It's really hard to make money. I tried it, and and I'm not into it just to make money, but you know, you start putting money in the equipment and stuff, you want to get a little bit back. And like I said, when I do the documentaries, that takes time. It takes me about 20 hours to get a documentary together and get everything that I do. So I do want to make a little money on it. But playing a song, I didn't care. You know, I just pick up a guitar and play, and that was it. Well, they don't make a lot of money, and the ads don't. Like what I do sometimes, like if I'm watching videos, and if they're people that I know, you know, from YouTube, like yourself or somebody that I know, I watch their videos. There's times I'll put them on and watch it. If I got something to do, I just let the video run. Yep. Because it helps the channel. You know, yep. If it's a long enough video, it'll have a second ad and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And also, you know, the people can do. You can also, it don't take much time. You can just click on that video ad that shows up at the corner, and it'll open another browser and go to that, and it'll actually make your favorite YouTubers. It'll make them a little extra money, and you know, I try to do that and things like that because it's hard to make money on it. A lot of people think, you know, there's a lot of like gaming channels. You know, there's gamers out there getting, oh God, you know, 250,000 views of video, but they don't. There are what they call it, the RPM or your CPM is how much money you make per click.
Yeah,
it's like $1 per 1,000 views. You know, $1.50.
Exactly.
So if they get 1,000 views, so you know, even 1 million views is only, you know,
you're not paying the mortgage.
Yeah. Oh no. You can't do that.
And that's where, unfortunately, where we have a great group of folks here, where you have the community side of things, which we'll call, which, you know, your super chats, your channel members, things like that, which
that helps out.
Folks, just saying, be a cool kid. Which, by the way, to reiterate too, new perk for the big helper level folks, we do a post-show hang on here after the Canuck show on Monday nights for the big helper level only.
Oh,
but that's an added perk because of the level, and because I'm usually sitting here for half hour or so after a show, unwinding. You know,
right?
And moderators might jump on for a conversation or something like that. So we thought, why not open it up? And we've got a couple of folks that have joined on so far, and it's been great.
That helps, yeah. You know, you have to do that. It's hard to build a channel. You know, like people look at my channel. Well, you know, you've only been doing documentaries, you know, for a little over 2 years. You know, and 45,000 subscribers. Go look at the date when that channel started. This channel started. This channel was monetized back in 2013. You know, and I fooled around. But I was working. You know, now I'm retired. Right. I don't work a day job no more. You know, that's over with for me.
Right.
And I come down here to Florida, and I was going to play music, and that's basically what I was doing. And the pandemic hit, and they closed a lot of things down. And then when they wanted to hire the musicians back, you know, like down here in Florida, doing a single, you can make about $200 for 3 hours, okay? Plus tips. And there's sometimes these people down here in the wintertime, they come down, they spend money. You know, you can do a lot of tips. Well, but the club owners were scared when they opened back up. Well, here's the deal. You come in and play, and we'll tell you if we want you to stay the second that set or something and pay you little bits. And I said, I'm going to do that, you know. Yeah.
Sorry.
I've been through that when I was a teenager, you know.
Quitting with a $1.37, no comment.
$1.37. Somebody didn't like my singing, but anyway, that's when I decided, you know, I'm going to do something with my YouTube channel. And I'd sit there and I'd play music and stuff. I thought, you know, I always wanted to talk about music.
I do appreciate that for the peanut butter fund. Yes, I appreciate that.
Of course. It's not the amount, it's the thought that counts.
That's right.
That's why I started doing documentaries, and I didn't care if people liked them or not, you know, because I wasn't going to talk fast and I wasn't going to change myself. I just
Sure.
I am who I am, and the people like it. People 50 and over. And the young people don't like it because I talk too slow for them. And I try to take some time out from in between my words. I can speed it up a little bit and make it a little faster, but for the most part, and that's what I just started doing, and it works out. It's a fine part-time.
I personally like the slower pace of the speech for the fact that because you have visuals as well. So, and I find if someone's talking too fast, I'm like, wait, I was looking at that photo, especially being the gearhead. I'm like, because I'm trying to figure out what model Marshall's standing behind the guy type thing. And then you might have said 3 facts. I'm like, all right, now I got to go back. Now I got to,
Yeah. But they're fun.
I appreciate it that way. I get it. It should be. Yeah, it's a documentary. It's not an auction. Sadie River got us into recording originals. So Pyro Mishap Blues was recorded yesterday. Awesome.
Yeah, Sadie Lamb's got a channel on YouTube. You just Google. You can just not Google it. Jesus God. But just go to YouTube.
One of my moderators can throw a link to their channel in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Yep. And then you can go over there.
They're like professionals or something. They earn every bit that I pay them.
Mm-hmm.
Which is nothing.
I got to try this. I'll probably end up getting rid of this OBS or just keep it for recording or whatever.
Gear Junk 35 in the house. Herb of Fireside Studio says, I did a couple of documentaries and did better on those than other long form content. Yeah, and Herb, there's only one thing I ask that you change for your channel, and it's just a small thing. I look at the name Herb of Fireside Studio, and I know it's Herb because I like Herb. I've hung out with Herb. We've done the Zoom hangs together. But there's no fire. Where's the fireside? Either just set up a TV and have a fire playing on it. That's fine. Where's the fire?
Herb.
Thank you, Trev. And by the way, what's up, Trev? There he is, Symmetry. Producer of Acoustic Guitars. He's working in the green room. He'll put stuff on the screen for me so I don't have to and stuff. And I appreciate that, Trev.
Hey, Herb, if you want to hear a difference, go onto my channel and listen to some of my first videos, my first documentaries, and listen to them today, 2.5 years later. They get better.
He says, I'm a fire department captain. That's where it comes from. Well, did you do a video on that, please? So then I know. But now I know. I appreciate that. All right.
There was a band back where I used to come from, and we was called Herb and the Herbs. HERBS.
I love it.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And the Wood Hippies.
I did. I had a
very welcome Herb.
Friend of the family. He did a single act while we were growing up, and he always called his backing band the Amphetamine Mountain Boys, Dex and Red and Benny.
That's good. Yeah.
Part of the act was you start playing, and you just start playing like dueling banjos, playing both parts, but then start playing faster and faster, and you start yelling "slow down" over the corner over his shoulder, and then finally, becomes a train wreck at some speed, and then that's when he introduces the band. So you might not see them; they're rather thin. They don't eat a lot. They don't.
Yeah. The more you do, the better you'll get. Trust me.
True.
And just like how I do mine, people have always asked me, how do you do them? It's real simple. You put it in order. The first thing I'll do is check and make sure the person that I'm going to do a video on has enough content, pictures and whatever, to do a video. I mean, it takes a lot of pictures, and you can't just put up any picture. Some of them aren't very good.
Mm-hmm.
But I always record my audio. My voiceover is the first thing I record. I record that, and I record it to a free program called Audacity. You can just download it off the internet, and it's so easy. You can just sit there and start taking your notes and talking. If you mess something up, don't stop. Just go again and say it over again. Just make sure you keep your voice the same and put the same emotion into your voice. And you can just come back to it, cut and paste it out, and it all goes together. And you got your voiceover, and you just put pictures and music to it. Yep. And it's not complicated. It's time consuming is what it is. And you learn with, like I said, look at some of my first videos. Go look at one there with Elwood Francis, one of the first ones, and Ruby Star, some of them. They're very, very compared to what I do now. They're not very good. The pictures, I didn't know how to pick the good pictures and things.
Right, and something might look good on one screen doesn't necessarily translate, or if it's blown up or something. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, if you get, and a lot of pictures are what are they? They're cropped down for a cell phone. They're narrow and long. Well, you put them out on a wide screen, they look crummy. You can't move in and out.
Yeah.
So I take what I do. I'll take and make a background for it. I may just, whatever the background is, cut a little piece out and then blow it up to like 12 by 9 or 700. Then put the picture in the middle of that with another little free software I got here somewhere. Then I got a whole picture that I can, and it takes the edge off of it. But I had to learn all that on my own in time, and
just like any other, learning an instrument or anything else, it takes a bit of time, and you hone your craft, and the more sets you do, the smoother it goes. And
well, it's just like even with the guitar, if you get a new pedal, just because you got directions doesn't mean that makes it sound good. You have to mess with it, and you
got to dial it in.
Yep, and know what sounds good and what sounds good to you.
Yep. And there's a break-in period.
Yep. It's like writing a song. Just start, and it starts flowing, and easier the next time. Well, that's true. I forget who it was that said, well, you want to be a songwriter or write songs? Well, my songs suck. Well, they're going to suck. The only way you're going to get better is by keep writing.
Yeah, you got to write all the bad ones first before you write the good ones.
You do. Yeah. I think, even Willie Nelson said that. You should hear some of the songs he said when I first wrote them. He said they suck, but I had to keep writing. It was inside of me, and I wanted it to come out. And me, me, I like to talk, especially about music and old music, so that's what I did.
Sure.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
Doc's voice is what makes the videos. Yeah, right. And especially my accent and my pronunciation of words that people always love to come in and tell me about.
They don't have taste. That's the problem. They just don't have taste.
Yeah. Well, you have to have thick skin to get on YouTube. There's no doubt. I don't know how many times I've been called a fucking hillbilly and everything else. You're a hick. And
how many times I've had, why don't you sell the guitar you're playing and get some lessons? You'll never make it anywhere music. And I was like, I've had albums. I've played extensively throughout the province. But the $300 guitar I'm demoing with the bad cut nut that's making it go out of tune. Yeah, it's all me. It's my fault.
Yeah, you're always going to have people like that. That's one of the bad things about the internet. People say things on the internet.
Comments up, Doc. Like I got especially now that I have a bit of a following. Like, do you really think you're funny? And I'll just reply, yes.
Yeah,
you leave it there, Or does anyone actually think this is funny? It's like some do.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, you have to. If you let people's criticizing you stop you from doing what you want, you'll never get anywhere. Exactly. It stopped a lot of great musicians. Because they couldn't. It killed them when somebody said they didn't sound good. Music, whatever you do, it's like art. Go into an art museum, okay, and take a.
I'm more of an impressionist. That's what I am.
Well, look at put a Van Gogh next to a Rembrandt, you know,
Yep.
or a Renoir. Jesus Christ, they do a self-portrait and you think it's a picture. You look at Van Gogh and you go, looks like my grandkid did that.
Yep.
But
Exactly.
it's all in the art form. And what, you know, if you start looking at it a certain way and you start seeing it as art, and music's the same way. You don't have to be great to be a professional musician. You don't have to do it. And you don't have to be great to make a lot of money. Don't believe me? Go look at Jimmy Buffett's bank account. You know, Jimmy, God love him to death, but you know, he wasn't a great singer, but he loved music so much that, you know, he died a billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
Now he did it with endorsements too. You
Sure.
know, did you hear the funny story on that one? About a year or so before he died, his daughter was talking to him and said, "Dad," he goes, "you're just getting overboard." He goes, "You know, with these Jimmy Buffett blenders, these Margaritaville blenders and stuff, they're cheesy." And he said, "Them fucking blenders is what's paying your money and leaving you what I'm leaving you in your will."
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yep.
it's money and it's a
Market
business.
yourself while you can, because especially as an artist, you could be the "Where Are They Now" file. You know, it's not that. You know, you can be the biggest sensation. You can go from a nobody to the biggest sensation in the world and a nobody again in 18 months.
Exactly.
So
exactly, get it while you can.
Exactly.
You have to do that, and you have to have thick skin, because you're not everybody is going to like your music or your playing or your voice or your looks. There's always going to be somebody that don't.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest eye-opening experience that I ever had was when I first started playing music and we was going on the road. We was leaving town to play. I believe I was all of 21 years old. And I went with 3 gentlemen that was older than me. They was all in their upper 20s. Well, you know, I'd been playing around town since I was 16 years old. Everybody loved my band. I was a hot shot, you know, and everybody clapped and patted me on the back. And he set me down. He said, "I'm going to tell you something." He said, "Them are your friends doing that." He said, "When we walk into this place over in Indianapolis, nobody's going to know you. They're not your friend. You're going to have to show them something." He said, "And I'm not saying with your playing so much. You play well, you sing well, but you have to learn how to go out and make friends with them people, because if you make friends with them and play the song they want to hear, you're going to be the best damn musician in the world to them." And it works. You know, when you walk into a room full of people you don't know, you're better off than trying to be the best player and the hot licks and everything in the world, is to go out and make friends with them people and show them attention and try to do their songs and their music for them, because you are a performer, but you're also an entertainer. You know, if somebody requests a song and you can play it and you don't do it, you're not doing your job, because then people are the ones that are spending their money to pay you.
That's right.
And I learned that at a very young age, and it made a big difference to me. The bad part was I didn't work a lot on original music, and I ended up getting into being a musician that I worked for a paycheck doing cover songs all the time. I ended up the last playing Holiday Inns and things like that, you know, Lionel Richie type stuff and things like that. But I did good, you know, but it was a poor man's living. Trust me. You spend a lot of money when you're out there.
Yeah, it's true.
But people's got to like you, and they're going to criticize you. You know, trust me. Especially when you get out in front of people that aren't your friends.
Right.
So it's just best to get out and do it, and don't let somebody, you know, if you're going to do a documentary video, you're going to play your guitar and sing, or whatever you're going to do in life, get out, do it, and don't let some clown who, you know, especially some clown on the internet, make a comment and stop you from doing what you want to do.
Exactly. And hey, we only live once, you know, and you know, Our demographic, we are who we are. Like, we're not getting any younger. Just have fun and do it. And that's why, read the comment, delete, move on, whatever. Like if it's constructive criticism is one thing, and I get that. But
but just you need to
fight. Or I don't know. Or the one thing I don't understand demos is people that, I have the same guitar in red. I'm like, well, go play it. Why are you commenting on my video?
I know, dude.
I understand. I watch a demo of a product prior to buying it, but other than they're looking for confirmation because they're not totally bonding with the guitar. I don't know. But Steve asked, "Did you ever play in Northern Indiana?"
I'm trying to think. I played in I played all over. Michigan City, I think I played up there. It was a real rough town too. I've played all over. Most of my playing was done in Michigan and Minnesota, Colorado, Wyoming, North Dakota. I played Mississippi. That was probably the best experience. I played a lot in Mississippi for a long, long time. And Florida. I've played in Florida. I've even played in Jamaica, believe it or not.
Nice. Yep. It's supposed to be based in a central location. You can even play different places, different times of year based on climate too, right? Like, do the North Dakota gigs in the summer and do the Mississippi gigs in the winter.
You can, except I'll never forget the day when I was done with it, and we was out of work. We had a week off that we didn't want, and we got a call from an agent, and it was over Valentine's Day, and I left St. Louis, and we drove all the way to Casper, Wyoming, and played 6 nights, and turned around and drove back.
Wow!
In the wintertime, and I'm telling you. Winter up there, was probably like what you're used to, Ben. I mean, we got snow in St. Louis. Don't get me wrong, but them plains out there, they have
it's not even that cold here. Yeah, that's a whole different kind of winter.
Oh, buddy, But we drove it because it was a job. It was my job, and I had to go make the money, and that was.
Yeah, that's where the negatives. It doesn't matter if they say it in Celsius or Fahrenheit because it's the same. Because it's a negative 20 something. It's like no.
Yeah. No, Michigan City. I played in Indiana. I think that's up north. I also played in a town close to northern Indiana called Kankakee. It was in Illinois, though. There were just different places. We had a couple of agents that booked us, and we always said they just, took the map and started throwing darts, and wherever they sent us. I drove St. Louis to Minot, North Dakota, back to Keokuk, Iowa, out to that town just north of Denver, all over the place. I mean, right. You get done playing on a Saturday night, you break everything down, put it in the trailer and everything, hop in the truck, and you take off, and you got to be set up ready to play Monday night. You drive all night, all day on Sunday. You get there Sunday night, unload the equipment, try to get some sleep. It was a mess.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
At least back in the day, you could get some multi-night gigs and stuff like that at the the Roadhouse type situations. My dad even did it, but he did a lot of that all through the 80s. Minimum 2 to 3 night gigs, or 2 nights in a matinee, or
Hi, Jeff K. From Minnesota. So in other words, you're getting snow up there.
No doubt. And Bo was asking where in Michigan, because he's a Michigander as well, and he's played all over Michigan as well, I believe.
Yeah, that's about it, Eddie Faye. We made a little more than $100, trust me, but it was still, by the time you take out expenses and you pay taxes and you have to eat, and there were some places, we had to pay for our own rooms, so naturally we took the cheapest ones, and it could get bad. I mean, I made a okay living at it, but it it was a lot of hard work for an okay living. Put it this way: when I came back home, I just started playing in town, and I went back to work. I worked for a couple of companies that I knew, and I made a lot better then. And music quit being a job. I didn't work music anymore. I played it. I had fun doing it. And I could play a lot of places. I played what I want to play. I didn't care. I had played so much for other people that I just wanted to play for myself.
That's true. Steve says Skips in Angola, Indiana used to have all kinds of really cool bands in the 80s. Nice.
Yeah, Skips in Angola. Yeah. I'm not familiar where Angola is at.
I've only been to a handful of places in Indiana myself.
Yeah.
Last time I was there was in Fort Wayne. Last time I was in Indiana.
Yeah. That's what
Sweetwater is. Yeah. I drove to Sweetwater one year. Me and Bruce, Mr. BHB Jr., we went there. He only had to drive from Ohio, the lazy bastard. I had to drive. Yeah, it was like a 9-10 hour drive for me, I think.
Right. Where are you at exactly, Bill? I know you're
100, a little over 100 miles east of Toronto, Ontario.
Toronto,
yeah.
East, yeah. So you're
halfway across the top of Lake Ontario, basically.
Yeah. I used to play on the East Coast too. I played in Maine, Acton, Maine. I played in Connecticut, Meridian, Connecticut. God, it's hard, to think of them through the years. I never did play in Canada. A matter of fact, closest I got was Minot, North Dakota. I think it's about 40 miles south of the Canadian border up there. But it was cold.
Yep.
And you had to work in the winter and in the summer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Always more gigs available in the winter because there's bands right here that only play 3 seasons a year. They'll take off the months of like December, January, February. Nope, won't do it. I get it. It's like,
I don't blame
you. You have to change. You don't use a trailer to gig. You use all vehicles, so you have the heat on in the vehicle, so you still have some finish left on, some paint left on your guitar, so it doesn't check to death.
Right. Yeah, I enjoyed it when I got back because through the mid to late 90s, I got what you call a house job. I knew some people that owned a couple of nightclubs, and they put house bands in there.
Perfect.
And so all I had to do, it was 4 nights a week. All I had to do was walk in and flip a switch, and my fan came on, my amp came on, and all I do was tune my guitar. I get there 5 minutes at a time, put my guitar on, and say, "Okay, what are we doing?" And
nice.
Yeah, and I would do that, and it was 4 hour a night, so it was 9 to 1. But I was younger. I could play from 9 to 1, and I'd get home. I only lived like about 40 minutes from the club, and I'd get home. I'd be in bed by 2, and I could still get up at 6:30 and go to work, like on Wednesday and Thursday, Friday night, and it didn't bother me. But as I got older, I started needing my 7-8 hours a night sleep.
Okay, so Angola is 45 minutes north of Fort Wayne, up I-69. Well, there we are.
Oh, okay. So that's up in the north then.
Well, I think we'll wrap things up here. This has been a really fun hang. I'm just saying.
Oh,
we'll do another one again, folks, because we're just barely scratching the surface. That's the way it goes when you talk music, you talk gear, and you talk life, right? Gigging, this and that. That's all Sunday night hangs about. It's the same thing. Like us guitar guys, if we were sitting around in a room together,
that's it.
What would the conversation be? And it'd be the exact same thing we've discussed tonight. Because we're touching on kind of work and play and this and that. And so I'll be back tomorrow night. Hold the line here, Doc, of course. And thank you, Terry, again for putting the link to Doc's channel. If you haven't already, please check out Riverdocks channel.
And I appreciate it too, Terry.
Latest video, Jimmy Vaughn. Just saying, folks.
And who's up next? Remember who I told you?
Frank Marino.
Yes, Frank Marino's coming out next week.
Yes, that's going to be a good one as well.
Yep.
Nice. Marty's in the Netherlands. That's right. Always forget about that, Marty. I don't know why. I just do.
The Netherlands.
I'll be back tomorrow night with Canucks with Guitars, live Q&A. Also, I'll be playing a bunch of live jams. And we're also continuing the newest segment, Bad Album Covers. Legitimate album covers that just shouldn't have been made in the first place. So that'll be fun. And of course, hit that like if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe. Click the join button even. Why don't you? And we'll see y'all soon. Hold those doors open. Let that guy in ahead of you in traffic. And karma's real. And of course, don't litter. That's the other thing. Just don't. Don't.